Hello there. Usually you would associate playing the Bodhran with jigs and reels, maybe hornpipes and polkas, but it's actually really good fun playing the Bodhran in 7/8 as well, which is what I'm going to talk a little bit about today. You know, playing jigs and reels all night in a session can get a wee bit boring sometimes, and it's actually really refreshing, and it's good having a bit of a challenge to play something completely different. Now, 7 is quite challenging on the Bodhran, mainly because it's an odd number of beats, so you start the second lot of 7 on the upstroke, which isn't a particularly natural thing to do. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is one way you can approach the 7, but as I say, it's not a very natural feel. So there's a way you can get around that, which I call a flat stroke. Some people call it a double downstroke, but I call it a flat stroke because I don't actually think it's really a down stroke as such. The flat stroke is literally just hitting the skin and coming straight back off, like this. So there's no down motion, just straight back off the skin. And then you can follow that with the downstroke. So it's flat, down, flat, down, flat, down, flat, down. And then this enables you to start the second lot of 7 beats back on the downstroke again. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you put the flat stroke on the 7 right at the end, you're ready to come back on the downstroke for the next lot of 7 beats. So I'll just give you a quick demonstration of that. 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, down, up, down, up, down, up, flat, down, up, down, up, down, up, flat. So that's probably the way most people would approach playing 7/8 on the Bodhran. Now the next thing you can do with the 7 beats, which makes it a bit more sort of digestible and makes it sound a bit more exciting, you can break it up into smaller number groups. So a very common one, for example, would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. If you place the accent on every number 1, it's quite effective. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Again, putting the flat stroke on the last beat of the 7. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so I'll just do that a bit more up to speed. Okay, so now we've broken the 7 beats up into smaller number groups, 2 groups of 2 and 1 group of 3. What you can do now is mix those groups of numbers around to achieve different patterns. And of course at first you may find it awkward counting the beats, but stick with it, because after a while it becomes a totally natural rhythm, and you find yourself you're not counting anymore. And by counting in the first place makes it a lot easier in the long run. So what we'll do now is change those numbers around. So we've got the 3 at the beginning and then the 2 groups of 2 following. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now you see now that the flat stroke is placed at the end of the 3 because it's an odd number of beats, that's where the flat stroke would go, right at the end of the odd number. So it's down, up, flat, down, up, down, up, down, up, flat, down, up. One, two, three, one, two, one, two, one, two, three, one, two, one, two. Okay, so then there's another combination for those numbers, the last combination really, which is 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2, and again the flat stroke will go on the end of the number 3. So 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. Okay, so that's 7 8. What I'll do now is get my good friend to join me, Brendan Power, and we'll play a tune called Sweet Vulgarity that Brendan wrote, and it uses all those number patterns that we've just covered in different variations throughout the tune, and I'll throw in a few more little patterns and chop up the 7